If someone gave you $1,000 and said you must use this to buy a gift for yourself, what would you buy? Story 1. A year's worth of massages. My local place does a package deal. Ooh, good idea. Package deals are my favorite kind of massages. Down at the old Jack Shack. How many massages is a year's worth of massages? Depends. A few times a year is a lot for me, but I have not gotten on in years. My wife had never gone for one until last year. Once every few months seems like a lot to me. We went to Thailand recently. A 90-minute massage was around 300 baht, $9 on the higher end, so $15 would make a great tip. I would do that every week. Holy hell, I'd have those people working so much. When I go to Indonesia, I usually get at least one a day at about $10 US, plus the occasional foot massage and body scrub. It's like heaven on earth for 2 weeks. Okay, I haven't even read any of the other answers, but that's now my answer too. In this vein, but different. I wonder if hot tubs could be found for this price. All feel good about massage, but with the benefits of not having to leave the house or get dressed. A used one, maybe, probably, depending on your area. But having worked with this kind of thing before, you do not want the used hot tub. Too many, probably, most owners will not take care of them the way they need to, and they can become a major mechanical pain in the tool to just super frackin' nasty in the pump, filter, and the system. Nah, you can get a brand new inflatable one for around $500 to $600 delivered right to your door for free if you have Prime. I bought one about a year ago, and it's one of my prized possessions. No one else is allowed to use it, only me and my delicious fruity drinks. I've been saving up to get a PS5 and this sweet hot tub I found in Costco that's only around $400. It has bubbles and everything. It would be perfect for this upcoming fall and winter season. I heard that being in a hot tub during the cold or snow is fine because the heat kind of creates a temperature bubble or something like that, like how an igloo doesn't melt with a fire inside. Yeah, it's pretty much like that. You can even enjoy them in the heat of summer, believe it or not. Just don't stay in too long. Gotta watch your body's temperature and don't stay in long enough to let it get too high. But hot tubs are absolutely amazing. There is nothing more relaxing after a hard day's work, in my opinion. A hot tub and a cold drink is always guaranteed to make my tired old bones happy. I highly recommend it. And also, don't get lazy on taking proper care of it. Read all the material on how to keep it clean and well-maintained. That's very important. There's now inflatable hot tubs that you can get on Amazon or Walmart for like $600. I could have put it right in the middle of my third-floor hotel room during the extended stay I'm at and watch TV, right next to the bed. Can confirm, inflatable hot tubs work. My friends and I bought one during COVID for $400. It could heat up to 104 Fahrenheit with the lid on, and then would drop after the lid came off. Sometimes we just huddled under the lid if it was cold outside so we could keep the temperature up. We get crazy good at tub chemistry, bromine levels, pH, etc., after one minor skin rash outbreak where we let bromide levels get too low for too long. But we're a bunch of legitimate professional chemists, so maybe we should have known better. The tub had 2 rules. 1, excreting liquids and solids were not accepted. Farts were allowed. 2, there was always room for one more person in the tub. We once got 14 people in a 6-foot diameter hot tub. Best $400 we spent ever. Don't know about the inflatable hot tubs, but I have been to Thailand and I can tell you about getting massages, legitimate massages out there. They are that cheap, and for as long as you live there, you could get one every week or even more, and they are very thorough. It's just very thorough, and it is very relaxing. I would highly recommend it. Story 2. Plane ticket and a weekend hotel stay. To where? Ukraine is nice this time of year. You remind me of this guy, the one who visits a country after a natural disaster or terrorist attack so that it's cheaper. The first time I went to Disneyland, a trip that had been planned for months, was on October 11th, 2001. Every line was less than 10 minutes long. I went on September 13th, 2001 to Disney World and can confirm. It was magical. I also remember everyone was so nice to each other. It's truly one of my favorite memories of the goodness that humans can show, even in the face of a terrible tragedy. I remember a few years ago in my country, a guy shot up a tram and unalived 4 people. First messages were coming out. It was a terrorist attack and the guy was Muslim. We lived in the city center back then, and I remember so vividly the kindness between the people in the street, Muslims and otherwise. It was as if we were trying to tell each other, "We know this isn't you or what you're about," without actually speaking the words. I know some people will disagree with the sentiment, but it was a very powerful and wonderful feeling for me at that time. Just people choosing to not be divided in spite of horrible things happening and standing together. My family had a trip to Hawaii scheduled for just after 9/11, September 15th. We were flying from O'Hare to LA. We spent like 3 nights there and then on to Maui and then Honolulu. The planes were practically empty. We each got an entire row to ourselves. We each lay down across the seats and slept most of the way. The hotels were nearly empty, so we got free upgrades to the penthouse suites at each destination. It was the best vacation we ever had. Edit. I seem to have mixed up the dates. Edit 2. We flew out of O'Hare on Sunday, September 16th. My hubby is taking me on a surprise anniversary trip this weekend, and I keep asking if it's to Russia for the real war experience and then life insurance collection for him. I'm Ukrainian, so don't downvote me for my dark sense of humor. I experienced something similar on my flights, I think last year, shortly after COVID. I flew home from Thailand to visit my mom and then back, and it was practically empty, and it was just like that. This was a 13-hour flight. Even in economy, everybody had their own row, and everybody just slept. You lifted up the armrest and slept on that flight, just laid across the whole rows. It was really the best economy experience I've ever had. Story 3. A $1,000 Amazon gift certificate. Don't rush me. Years and years ago at my company, we all hit a super high goal, and everyone was given the option of a $500 Amazon gift card or $500 on their paycheck. Needless to say, everyone got the Amazon gift card so we wouldn't have to pay taxes on it. The finance department was ticked since they still had to pay taxes, and they made it a rule that Amazon gift cards could not exceed $20 before saying no more Amazon cards a few months later. Edit. For everyone saying I should have been taxed, you are correct. The company messed up. I don't remember the specifics, but the boss just threw it on a company card and didn't tell anyone. Finance had to figure out the taxes. Never showed up on my W-2. Either way, they had to pay taxes on it, so they got mad that their employees were smart and took the tax-free route? What the hell? I don't remember the specifics, but I think it's because of how they did the gift cards. Basically, Boss Man bought them from a company, CC, and handed them out, but it was never reported on our W-2, so the company ended up having to cover the income tax on it or something like that. It was some tax thing where they went well over budget and on bonuses because of the Amazon cards. Yep, they gave us 500 Amazon gift cards for Christmas last year, with a note saying this counts as income and taxes will be taken out of the following check. I wish they would have just given us a 500 bonus on our check instead of forcing us to use Amazon. Finance department lacks imagination. They should have classified the payment as a contribution to the company cafeteria plan, and the Amazon gift cards as cash payments paid in lieu of benefits. Cafeteria plan contributions are excluded from taxable income, so are cash payments made in lieu of the benefit. I guess this company just was not as creative as this person about trying to figure out the best way to give bonuses to people. But yeah, I think last year I had a gift of a very extravagant Amazon gift card, and I definitely utilized it. So I was glad that that happened. Definitely could recommend if you have that or just receiving the same amount of money that you still have to pay taxes on. Story 4. Truffles, white and black, saffron, top quality balsamic vinegar, a couple really good knives. I probably run out of money. You can have the knives, the spices, or the truffles. Choose one. Edit. Spelling. Accidental Italian. One really good chef knife can really do most stuff, if not everything. A nice paring knife would be good too, but I don't see why it needs to be on the quality level of my chef knife. Just needs to hold an edge well. My friend started her own saffron farm in her backyard during COVID, and now she's a millionaire. How much space does she have if a gram of that stuff seems to average at $10, which is the yield of about 50 to 54 flowers? It actually sells for $20 to $75 a gram, $9K per pound. It's generally only grown in Iran, and this farm popped up in the US. She started small, converted her entire backyard with the help of her husband and 6 kids. They've been rapidly expanding each year. The most difficult part of the process, and why it's so expensive, is having to pollinate the flowers manually. They have 15 acres now. Each acre yields about $100K. Well, that's kind of cheating if you have 6 little robots doing unpaid manual labor in it. Still, good for her, though. To be fair, that's how agriculture has worked for thousands of years. The children yearn for the cornfields. Story 5. A nice guitar. This was what I did when I got $10K for getting rear-ended. Okay, maybe I bought a few nice guitars. Rear-end, you say? $10K, you say? Yep. Make sure you have underinsured motorist coverage, too, and go to the hospital immediately afterwards complaining of back pain. I hear if you pee your pants, it's an extra $50K, but I have zero idea if that's accurate. I just called the sleaziest lawyer I could find. First time I've ever sued out of like 10 accidents I was not at fault for, but glad I did because that mofo gave me scoliosis. If you've been in 10 plus accidents, you might want to reconsider who's actually at fault. I made my money the old-fashioned way. I got run over by a Lexus. My ex had her car hit 4 times and was not driving 3 times. 2 of those times within half an hour. 2 different cars hit her legally parked car. Story 6. New teeth. More like half a tooth. I got an estimate for the work I needed. I'm a workers' comp patient, and part of my injuries were a dislocated jaw and shattered teeth. A few years ago, my fakish teeth shattered again, but WC finally gave me approval this year to get them repaired. But because I had Yondu's teeth where my molars were, I couldn't take care of the surrounding teeth as well as I normally would have been able to. I still have 1 or 2 more visits of screws and cadaver bone replacements, but after the copay from my dental insurance, the work I need with my discomfort will be $10K. I can afford one $106 session for 2 fillings and UV light cover. Unless something changes because my rent is $1,700 and I bring home about $2,000 to $2,300 a month, and I will be moving next spring, and my scooter needs repairs, I'll never be able to afford this. Maybe a dental school student can do it for cheaper? I fracking hate the USA's approach to medical care and think we should take a page from Cory Doctorow's Radicalized. We pay about $4K for an implant here. I need 4 so I can chew again. Being a teeth clencher and grinder when stressed has fracked me. I've always flossed and cleaned and only ever had 1 cavity my whole life as well. I just got one last year. $4,800 for the implant, $1,900 for the crown. Yeah, $6,700 for 1 tooth. And the motherfrackers expect you to take off work. Can they seriously just have dentists that have night practices? Would they not make a killing? $1,000 wouldn't have covered my work. I was once in a bicycle accident, where I cracked both my front teeth. They're fixed now, but these suckers were quite expensive. $1,000 would not cover barely a tenth of it.
Please like and subscribe if you made it this far. I hope you'll enjoy the rest of the video and have a wonderful day.
Story 7. A telescope for some stargazing. You can 3D print a really decent scope and get all the hardware and mirrors for like $125. It's a fun project and a great way to get into astronomy. Competes with scopes 3 times as expensive. Edit. Didn't expect this reaction. Link to the prompt. There's a web link in my script that's far too long for me to repeat. I'd buy a 3D printer, some hardware, and mirrors. Buy a Prusa or Bamboo Labs printer, and you'll find 1,000 things you'll need to make for yourself. Trust me, they're great and worth it. For those asking for that link, I think this is what they're talking about. And again, there's that link. It's okay, but pretty basic as you'd expect. A $125 homemade telescope is pretty good if it competes with a $400 telescope. But a $400 telescope is very much entry level anyway. I think probably you should factor in the cost of the 3D printer, in which case it's probably a fair bit more than $125. Story 8. A new laptop or an iPad. I only have a Nintendo Switch, so I want to buy either a gaming laptop or a new console to play all those non-Nintendo games. I'd say a Steam Deck or something similar would be the right choice for you then. Similar layout to a Switch, but with the proper options to play PC and console games. I own one. It's awesome. I'm curious, are these effectively the same for you? I've noticed that younger generations don't really seem to use laptops as much. Wondering if it's because they may have grown up with just the touchpad experience. I just can't imagine an iPad ever replacing what I need a laptop for. I'm part of the younger generation, 19, and no, these are not the same to me at all. Now, to be fair, I am studying computer science, but even if I wasn't, a laptop is still a lot more useful than a tablet. I teach high school, mostly 11th, 12th grade. I teach a math finance class that includes spreadsheets. My deity, most of these kids don't even know how to type. Some do actually surprise me by their speed, though. And most don't know where the special characters are or how to type them. This is in an area that's decently well off, where seemingly every kid has AirPods and their first cars are less than 6 years old. Story 9. Some really nice bedding that isn't on sale/clearance, secondhand, or a hand-me-down. Like a down comforter, with actual matching colors and throw pillows and stuff. My mattress is good, and I have one set of cotton sheets, but I just can't justify spending money on nice stuff. I feel you on this one. This year I finally bought my first bedding set at full price, and I wanted to throw up when I got to checkout. 20 years living on my own, and it was one of the things I just couldn't bring myself to pay full price for because I was always broke and they're incredibly expensive. I had the extra money for once and enjoyed making my bed look nice and actually choosing the pattern because I liked it, not because it was the most affordable. Got a new mattress too after 15 years. Now I'm broke again. But I feel amazing laying in my new comfortable bed with matching new and on-trend bedding instead of something from years ago. Clearance, partially damaged or missing pieces. Good sheets are a life changer. I thought Egyptian cotton with a high thread count was great until I found linen ones on sale. They are so soft and keep you cool. Sometimes you can find them on sale on Etsy and they're good quality. Story 10. Probably one of those inflatable hot tub things with all the options. I know it's not as good as the real deal hot tub, but at the $1,000 price point, that's what I take. I do physically demanding work in the summer, then teach during the year, and for both, I'd like to rest and recoup in a hot tub. We have one that's lasted 3 years. It's been awesome. Do you live in a warm climate? I know about 6 people who got these, and they all broke in the winter. They probably could have pooled their money and got a real spa. We just disconnect the filter part. No issues. We live in the Northeast. Story 11. I'd buy a one-wheel. I was extremely depressed in grad school after going through some unfortunate stuff and was really lucky to make some good friends. One in particular convinced me to buy a one-wheel. I financed it with one of those Afterpay apps. Dude came knocking at my door almost every day and pulled me outside to go ride one-wheels together. The combo of fresh air and company was a huge part of how I got out of my slump and managed to get through grad school. Story 12. Honestly, I don't know anymore. Things in my life that once gave me happiness and joy no longer do. I used to play video games, go to concerts, skateboard, ride BMX, go out with friends. But as of the last couple years, things changed. I can't hold an attention span long enough to play games for more than an hour. Concerts got too expensive. If I get injured while skating or going out on the trails, I'd have to stay home from work. I'm a carpenter. I'm already struggling enough as it is, and I don't have friends anymore because I work 80-plus hour work weeks. I'm stuck in my job and stuck in my city. So I'd probably get some groceries and some gas. Story 13. Can I spend it on supplies and stuff for my classroom? If not, I'd get a new computer. I was thinking the same thing. Most of the purchases I made recently have been things for my classroom. $40 electric pencil sharpener, $20 box of dry erase markers. That stuff adds up. It really does. My big purchase is going to be a $250 rug. We got tiled floor to replace our carpet, and they aren't providing any funds for a circle time carpet, which I really want for my younger kids. Story 14. Ironically, this exact thing happened to me last year. I bought a set of Bluetooth monitor speakers, $140, and that's it. The fact that I haven't spent the rest already tells me that I probably never will. I think that something is very wrong with me. I think you get to a certain point in life where you have what you need, you have most of what you want, and are satisfied with what you already have and don't want more stuff. At least I've gotten to that point. Story 15. I'd hire a cleaning service. I've been sick for a long time and recently received the blessing of a new, to me, liver. I'm gonna live. Yay! But my house became a disaster while I was sick. I need some help because I'm still recovering from all my surgeries, getting my house back in order along with a good deep clean. I've got a lot of people I want to have a party type thing for all their love and support while I was sick. Story 16. I would probably buy a $500 chest-style freezer and find some good foods on sale that are shelf-stable while frozen and buy $500 worth. Can't beat a good sale and everyone has to eat. Edit. Before anyone says anything, I do truly enjoy stocking up on necessities. That affords me the ability to splurge on the next deal for a new GPU or TV or something, not having to worry about the simple things as a gift to me. Story 17. I'm not sure what this says about me, but before I read it as a gift for myself, I was thinking about what I could buy for others. So myself? Go to Walmart, get some granny pennies, mystery boxes in the toy aisle, some Legos, and get gift cards with the rest. New panties are just the best. If I had unlimited money and it magically would not hurt the environment, I would wear a brand new pair of socks and panties every day. Story 18. A load of new scrubs for work, some new shoes, some new socks, and a label/air tag for my stethoscope. I've been needing new scrubs and shoes for a while, but with increasing rent and cost of living, it's hard to justify spending anything on something that doesn't cover my head nor feed me. Either that, or a PC so I can play the games I want without graphics on minimum. My laptop is very much not meant to run anything on it. Story 19. If I could save it, I'd use it towards a travel trip, or maybe towards getting Invisalign. Other ideas would be a year's worth of nail care or several years' worth of trips to the spa world. If I had to spend it in one sitting, I'd spend it on some fishing equipment, because I've been getting into fishing, or a nice bookshelf for my books. Yeah. Story 20. I'd pay to have my car repaired so I can drive from Texas to West Virginia and spend a few weeks with my cousin. We're best friends. I've seen her once overnight when I was on my way from NYC to home, Texas, after recovering my son's remains. One overnight visit in over 20 years. It's the one thing I would consider a fabulous gift to myself. Story 21. 2 women at the same time. I imagine with that kind of cash, a feller could make that happen. Best movie ever. 'Cause chicks dig dudes with money. Well, the type of chicks that'd double up on a dude like me. Story 22. A high-priced red-headed escort. Or 1,000 truly terrible ginger hookers. With this cost-efficient option, you surely do get more bang for your buck. Maybe better getting 500 cheap ginger hookers and a buttload of broad-spectrum antibiotics. Story 23. Cheese. Specifically, a wheel of Sartori Bellavitano. Not sure on the flavor. I love them all. For $1,000, I could probably buy a couple, though. Ooh, and some of those fancy crackers to go with it, like Potter's crackers and stuff. And some good accoutrement. Oh man, that would be the best. Story 24. Hamilton Jazzmaster Open Heart. Probably the one with a white face and silver band. Then the remaining $150 or whatever on a nice brown leather strap to swap out the bracelet one. If I can get a little deal on either of the above, I'll swing by T-Bell. Story 25. New phone. Still rocking the same iPhone SE I got in 2020, and it's progressively getting more buggy and the battery dies really quickly now. Story 26. Bro is still living in the 2000s. What millennia are you living in?
Please leave your story in the comments. I would love to make a video on them in the future. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe.